Okay, so this is my Logisim circuit for the 3-bit counter that we made. And over here are the outputs. This is the counter, C, B, and A. And then over here is the input, up, down. And this can either be 1 or 0. And that determines whether the counter is going to count up if it's 1 or down if it's 0. So basically how this works is over here, this part of the circuit determines whether up, down is 1 or 0, and also what the current state of the counter is. So that's why we see over here we have some of the outputs from the flip-flop get fed back in as inputs over here, because it's important to know what the current state is, so we know what, so that the circuit knows what the next state should be. So basically where it's at right now is sort of its initial position, or its like reset position. So if I click the button, nothing's going to happen, the reset button, because it's already at its reset point. But we'll see later on that clicking reset brings it back to this initial point here where C, B, and A are all 0. So then if up, down is 1, then we see that this counter will go up until it hits its final state, its 8th state, which is a counter of 7, 1, 1, 1, at the rising edge of the clock. So we can click the clock and see it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we do it one more time, it brings us back to our initial state of 0. But we can see that if we're at, say, 1 or even 2, and then we click reset, it brings us back to 0. Now, if we have up, down as 0 instead of 1, then the counter is going to count down. It's still going to start from our reset position of 0, and then we do the clock, it goes to 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. And again, we see if we have it at something like 7, we click reset, it brings it back to 0. So that's essentially how we see that this circuit works the way you would expect it to, where if you have up, down as 1, it counts up from whatever your starting position is until it hits 7 and then goes back to 0. Or if up, down is 0, then it counts down from your initial starting position to until it hits 0 and then goes back to 7.